What up, Facebook world? So, today we're here to talk to you about.
So I am not hating the quarantine life, or technically the social distancing life. Um, we are not quarantined as of yet. I
So, what we
yeah.
have been doing this week is we have been doing this right here. You can see this cute little
We
guy.
had a baby goat
We did
girl.
have a baby
Baby girl.
goat, a little baby girl goat. And that is what we've been doing here lately.
Baby goat. Yeah. So we have goats. I don't know if we said that before. We did on our first one.
Yeah, I think
We
so.
have two goats. We have a male pygmy and a female who's I've recently learned are called pygoras. It's pygmy angora cross. And we didn't know if she was pregnant or not. This was our first venture into this. And then, like, here lately, we started suspecting maybe she was. Like, when we got back from Disney, we were like, wow, she's really big. She's really fat.
Got a lot of
Her
hair.
hair, she has so much hair, it's hard to tell. And then, like, we started noticing she was getting slower walking. Like,
Couldn't jump on the table.
She couldn't jump up on her table anymore. And then, like, the last day, she couldn't even, like, could barely get up on the porch. And then Jenna went out. Was it 2 days ago?
Yeah.
2 days ago, Jenna went out. One of her chores is to sweep off the back deck. She wanted to sweep off the back deck, and Sugar had just given birth. Like, we got to watch her like break the birth sack and clean it for the first time, and saw the baby stand up and nurse her and all that stuff. Like, she'd just given birth, and probably the worst part of our property to give birth. It's close to the house, so maybe she felt safe. But there's like an old board sitting there, and some old fencing. It's like, why? They have a house. It's not like we don't provide shelter for them. But she had just given birth, and we got to watch her give birth, and so that has consumed a lot of our past few days.
And it is cute as a butt.
Adorable. Put the picture back up.
All right, keep talking.
Her name is Margaret. Jenna named her Margaret. It's kind of probably going to be her goat. Pip, the male, is Jenna's goat, and there's a good likelihood we're going to be looking for a new home for Pip, and so Jenna will then, that's not it, then Jenna will get to keep Margaret for her own. So if you know anybody who would give a good home to a male pygmy goat, let us know, because I won't say it's 100% definite, but 90-ish% sure we're going to rehome him.
He's a good goat.
He's a pretty good goat, as males go. So anyway, so what I was saying is, I told Jason the other day, like, is it bad that I'm not hating this social distancing life? Like, I kind of feel guilty because I'm kind of enjoying it. So Jason, not much has changed for you.
Nah.
Because he's a full-time firefighter, so he has to go to work. Don't see that one ending anytime soon unless somebody at the firehouse ends up with COVID-19 or something like that. And then our business is run primarily online, so
my office is in the shop here now.
That's where we are. That's where we do this. Is from his office. It's in our garage. So his life hasn't really changed a whole lot. The girls and I, we go out for two things.
It was turned upside down.
Our world was turned upside down. So even though I'm a stay-at-home mom and we homeschool, I kind of factored it out the other day, looked at the calendar. So during soccer season, we're gone anywhere from 5 to 7 days a week. Not soccer season, it's more like 4 to 6 days a week. So we're usually, even though we homeschool, we're out of the house all the time. Until now. So even though we homeschool and I stay home, this has kind of turned our world upside down. We're adjusting to it. So we leave the house for Jillian's riding lessons. Horseback riding lessons are still happening. That is one activity. The owner of the stable has put in some new procedures in place to maintain the social distancing. Like, we're not allowed in the barns anymore. So they bring the horse to us. And then the instructor is at the end of a lunge line, so it's about 6 feet away. So we're able to maintain social distancing. And being an agricultural business, it's, as of right now, still able to run. And it's like right down the road, so we don't even have to go that far. So Jillian and I go there. And then I made the girls go with me to pick up ClickList. And then we did a McDonald's drive-thru just for a break in our day, and I made them go with me because Jenna hadn't left the house in like 8 days, and just to break it up. So that's that's the only thing we have. But my point being, I don't hate it. And I don't know. Is anybody else with me? Somebody comment. Like,
Yeah.
am I the only one that's not hating this?
What has changed in your life, or how often are you still going out?
Are you still going out? Is just your, like him, like his life really has not changed a whole lot because he has to go to work.
Right.
But if you had to make a lot of changes, if you are home for one reason or another, does anybody else am I the only one that doesn't hate this? I kind of like it.
We took a walk back to the backside of our property today. Jill's never been back there, so we took that.
Almost 6 years old. We'd never taken her back there yet.
It's down a
big
hill.
Big hill, lots of thorns. Like there's, it's kind of a pain in the
about
butt.
the back 3 acres, but it was fun. We got to go up through the creek and took the dog up through there, and the dog loved it. And just some things that we did. Just some things that we did to kind of pass the time by, and
I'm able to have a schedule at home for like the first time ever. Our schedule changes like every day, where we do different activities every day, so we don't really have routines. And then like his shift, where he's on shift on 24 off 48, got that right. We can't have like a daily schedule. That doesn't really work with our family in the regular world. So now that the girls and I are home all day, he's home 2 out of 3 days. Like I can actually put into effect like a schedule and routine, and it's taken a little bit of adjusting, especially Jillian. Poor Jillian. She doesn't understand, and she's kind of pushing every change.
She don't like the sickness.
Yeah, she calls it the sickness. I hate the sickness. We all hate the sickness. But it's nice that we can have a routine, and I can have a schedule with my kids, and we can spend time together. And the girls are finally settling into being together all the time. So there's still little fights throughout the day, but they're starting to play more together and get along better. I just feel like everything's more peaceful.
Mm-hmm. Instead of a bunch of chaos.
So the question to all of you, again, I'm a little sad that no one else has commented that they don't hate the life either. But my question is, it's got me thinking about when this is all over and everything reopens and life goes back to normal, of what changes do I want to keep? It's really got me thinking about what activities do we really, really miss, and what activities do we maybe not miss? And so I think at the end of this, we're going to have some long-term changes to our family and to how. And
one of the activities that Jody and I really miss, and Jody really misses, is she really doesn't like online church.
I don't. Well, I mean, I like it. Our church announced that they were canceling services through May 15th. It's the week after Mother's Day. And I cried. There is something about getting together with other believers and worshiping, and that was probably the first thing I cried about them closing and canceling.
And then she cried that they were going to cancel Easter Sunday.
And Easter Sunday and Mother's Day, and
which they might open it back up. Sounds like they might be opening up the world by then. Hopefully, that's their goal.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so that for me, that's a big one for me. I'm really sad about, and I think I'm doing the online church, and our church has been really great. They have the online middle school ministry, the children's ministry sent out videos. So we all do our little online church on Sunday, but it's not the same. I miss it. I'll probably cry that first Sunday back, just so you know. I'm a crier. Cry when I'm mad, cry when I'm sad, cry when I'm happy. I missed that. That was a big one for me. Not being able to see my parents whenever I want. We saw them that often. They live in Ohio, but
we did get to see them yesterday. That was kind of nice.
We had something that we had to do that we stayed within all the rules and guidelines, but it took precedence, and so he and I needed to go out, and we needed somebody to watch the kids. And they were more than willing to both get out of the house and see their grandchildren. And so we're grateful to see them, and we're grateful that they were able to do that for us, because we needed it. It was something we had to do.
And they got to see the baby goat, too.
The baby goat.
And who doesn't want to see a baby goat?
Right. And then I miss soccer. Just because that is something that Jenna both loves and is very good at. And it's to be able to see your kid out there doing something that they excel at and love, love doing. I miss that. So those three things I really, 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 really miss. I miss other things too. I miss seeing people in that. But it's really making me take stock of what are we really heartbroken over? What's making us cry, and what's not.
Doug, you can keep the fire truck. I don't know how to work on them anymore. So.
But so any of you, like, again, anybody else not hating the social distancing life, or do you all hate it? Am I alone in this? And then for those of you who are at home, has it made you like take stock of what things are in your life that maybe you don't want to go back to, or maybe you do? What about those of you whose jobs were affected? I know I have some friends who either were self-employed or who were laid off, and I know that some of them have been able to kind of create a new business by doing some things online to try to make up some of that income. So have any of you like already made changes to your careers to adjust to this? And do you think you'll keep up with that after this is over? I'm really curious. I might start asking some of you personally if you don't like talk to me on here, but I'm kind of curious, like how many of you are going to stay doing those things afterward? Like, is it working out well? Is it something like maybe you like, oh, I enjoy this, or you're like, no, can't wait till it goes back to normal. So I'm kind of curious as to how some of you are dealing with that. And I'm sorry for those of you who have been laid off or who are self-employed. And my heart goes out to you. And I really hope, of course, I want them to make good decisions. And I think it's really hard. I've said on other things on my personal, I'm not going to criticize any leader at this point because I think they're all doing the best they can. And I don't think we're going to know until afterward with the perfect 2020 vision of hindsight, whether or not they made the right decisions. So I just really hope and I pray that they make decisions that keep our public health in the best interest, but also I am very concerned about the long-term effects on the economy and how that factors into people's lives. And then it becomes a health and safety issue if the economy is allowed to drop too far. So finding that balance. Our leaders have a really difficult task ahead of them. So, but anyway, so if your job's been affected, we'd love to hear.
And, that is something that I'm ready for, is the economy to come back, because this is, I do a lot with the pressure washing, and a lot of guys are pressure washing, and, this is affected hugely. This is their time. This is the money making time right now. And this has killed most of them. So this is something, moving forward, hopefully it will take back off and get back up to at least halfway normal. So, and this is a time, I know in 2008, a lot of people, or 2007, a lot of people lost their job. And, I follow a person that if he wouldn't have lost his job then, he has probably touched 1 million people's lives. And if it wouldn't have been for him losing his job then, he would have never grown the business he has. And this is Pat Flynn. So if Pat Flynn has started his business. He started in 2008 or 2007 because he got laid off. Never thought he would have got laid off. And now he's touched, I'd say, 1 million or more people that he has reached and touched. Mm-hmm. And so, you always think, well, what can come out of this? Well, there's a lot of things that can come out of this stuff, Maybe you lost your job and you don't get it back. Maybe you start finding something else that you like, doing something different. Or maybe you realize that, hey, I can do something online, I mean, I've been doing online business for what, probably
6 years?
5-6 years now.
No, online 5.
Probably about 4 or 5 years just on the online side of things. And so, I do a lot of online business. And if you have any questions, you can always message me. I'm willing to help. I do a lot with YouTube. I do a lot of different things that I've learned how to do it and become good at. I do Google ads. I do a lot of things. So, and it's not just for pressure washing. So, if you have any marketing needs or anything like that, let me know, and I can either help you out or show you what you need to do or whatever you want to do with it. So, but this is just something that, I mean, I listen to some people that are very wealthy, and this is the time that you can build wealth too. I mean, I know it sucks for some, but this is also time you can build wealth for yourself. So, just some things that you can do to set in place. If you just sit around and sit there and think, "Oh, I'm helpless" and all that, then you're probably not going to be helped that much. So, these are some things that definitely, look to things that you might be able to do. Like she said, she had a friend that started doing online teaching. I mean, I know people that make buku loads of money of
Left
doing
their regular teaching jobs to become online teachers.
yes. I mean,
like before this,
make seven figures to do
if you're
that.
in that position, it's a possibility. You might end up finding something.
I mean, and then the music side. I know a physical trainer. He does all online stuff. And it makes well over 6 figures doing online. So does it take some work? Absolutely does.
Is it a different kind of work?
Yes, it is. So just some things that you can definitely look at, some things and options that you can do and all that kind of stuff. So what are you ready for? Delivery for ice cream.
So that's funny. My sister-in-law texted the other day and she said, man, I wish I could send a drone out to get ice cream for me.
Well, she's up in Ohio, but David Draper owns Dairy Whip, and it's a local.
Oh, sorry, Dave, I didn't recognize your last name there.
He's a local guy in the northern Kentucky area, which I'm sure we got plenty of people on here from there. Go check it out. He's usually in Burlington. Good. He's going to open up a spot in Burlington. He has some Hebron, and he does do some drive and deliveries right now. So check out.
Really, you're delivering ice cream? I didn't know that.
Yep, he's delivering ice cream. So
I haven't been on social media on that.
But yeah, he does do that, and so that is definitely something to check out. But he will deliver and
Dreamy Whip.
Northern
Whip. Kentucky.
Usually he's at the.
Get some ice cream.
I believe he's either.
Get some ice cream.
I know it. BP, either the BP in Hebron or over in off of 42. So check him out. But well, we ain't got too much going on in here.
No,
nobody wants to talk to us. So don't you get that coronavirus?
They're all busy either spending time with their families or making bigger families for the quarantine babies.
So
they all are.
If you're making,
it's true. You're excused.
Let's see. When did we figure out a lot of babies will probably be born?
It's like next
December,
January?
Right at December.
I feel like it's January. What month is this? March.
Yeah.
January.
So what is your plan to do when this quarantine is over? Go get a haircut.
Prepare for a baby.
Get
your hair done.
Make sure you
quarantine hair don't care. New hashtag.
Get rid of the gray, or you're gonna go buy the bottle of gray away to use.
He's talking to me.
I love my old wife, so. But just some things to having fun with. If you do get the sickness, stay in. Make sure you don't go out.
Follow the guidelines.
Do some elbow bumps, all that kind of stuff. So, hey Dave, what are you looking forward to when the gates open up?
When the sickness is over.
But just some things, just me and Jody's kind of talking back and forth. Next Tuesday, we won't be on here on Tuesday. It'll probably be Thursday.
Oh, are you on shift?
I am on shift. Yep.
Haircut. Mr. Dewan. Hi, Dewan.
Haircut will be one of the first things I do. It don't look like you got a whole lot of hair there, man.
It's because he keeps it cut regularly. So Dewan is one of my buddies from college. And I tell you what, he is probably one of the, I'm trying to think of the word, best dressed, he's an engineer by trade, and he follows a lot of men's fashion and a haircut. I know you don't look so bad now. I don't know how old that picture is, but it looks good so far. Is that why you're not live? No, I'm just teasing you. Spiders having a meeting on my head. You're too funny.
Do what now?
All right, day
washing the world. Getting you some Washington time in, huh? So, but yeah. So that's just kind of what we're gonna do. I don't know why we're not getting in focus again, because we're too far apart, I guess. But just having some fun, kind of locked in. Like I say, we'll be on next Thursday night.
Thursday?
Yep, Thursday
Okay.
night. Hopefully we have.
Remember what I said about not being able to have a regular schedule in our house? That right there. That is a movie quote from Friday. I don't know that movie. What's that movie? Do I need to watch it while I'm on social distancing?
Oh, must be for that one there. Yep.
Oh.
But we're just having some fun.
I'm going to go look it up now.
But what do you what are you liking about this? What is the thing?
It's got to be something you like about it. Good evening.
So
There's got to be something you like about it, right? More time with the family. It's quieter. Our house is anyway. It's quieter. Right. I don't know. Not being scheduled all the time. That's mine, I think. Not having a crazy schedule time. In fact, now a lot of the groups and activities that we're doing are creating like all these online meetings and online classes. And I'll be honest, as much as I appreciate the effort and I understand what they're doing, like I'm kind of getting a little aggravated because I was really enjoying not having this crazy schedule. And now my schedule is like, even though we're still home, it's starting to fill up with all these online meetings and online classes.
And the best thing about Jody is too, she really loves technology, and to trying to figure out like Zoom, and different things like that, because that's how a lot of these people are.
Julian has an online ballet class tomorrow via Zoom, which is I'm so thankful. She loves ballet, and I'm so thankful they're able to do that. But I'm like, oh my gosh, now I have to make sure that we're ready by this time. Like it's the same thing, right? And I have to figure out, he's not going to be here. So I have to figure out how to get my laptop into an area of our house that has enough space for her to dance and get it set up to run this. And it's kind of a little bit of stress. It's okay. There's something else I was going to say. I forget.
Yeah, she loves technology. So that just trying to figure all that stuff out is a little bit tough for her.
So let's see. Doug, it says less traffic.
Yeah, and you live out in the middle of nowhere. So how's that less traffic? I mean, you live literally in the middle of nowhere. You go to nowhere, and then you make a left and go really to nowhere.
And actually, I was really fascinated when I went to get, I guess it was Sunday, when I picked up my Kroger Click List. I was actually surprised at how many cars were on the road and how many were in the parking lots. I thought it would be more dead. And so now I'm kind of like working through, like, is this why they've had to like start putting stricter things in place? Because everybody's been like, screw it, I'm just going to go out and do what I want. Or,
and the good thing about Doug,
I'm confused.
And the good thing about Doug and them is they can go one county over, and that Walmart has everything you need in that Walmart.
Now I know where you live,
because that is where Cynthiana is, and there's like 20 cases, 8 to 10 cases, all been in Cynthiana.
So in Kentucky, the very first COVID-19 confirmed case was a Walmart worker in Cynthiana. So I haven't heard. Jason's heard from people who live down there that Walmart, if you guys need anything, apparently you can drive to Cynthiana and they are well stocked because nobody wants to shop there. I don't know if it's still true or not, but a few days ago that apparently was still true. So Doug says that DeJuan saving money by not commuting to work. That is true. That's probably true for a lot of people. That's something, when I became a stay-at-home mom, I was shocked at how much money we saved.
And we saved a lot even by just eating in all the time, too.
More. Yeah, so that's true, DeJuan. People will save money by not commuting to work, by working from home. Yeah, that's a good point. The only thing has changed is 65 hours a week in a nursing home. So you're working more hours in the nursing home?
Yeah, I think
because they're on, shut down? Or they're locked down?
They're all locked down.
I gotcha. Yeah. So overtime, right?
Yeah.
Think positive.
But all righty, guys. Well, that's probably going to do it for tonight. Like I said, we'll be back on next Thursday.
Next Thursday, not in 2 days. A week in 2 days.
If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You might get
You might
something.
get an answer, you might
not. Jody did have to get off Facebook this week.
I did. It was just that there was so much negativity. I just couldn't. He was about to ground me for my whole phone because even like texting people back and forth and other social medias and that. So I've been on a phone break other than, let's see, LinkedIn and Instagram and games and Netflix.
Because she was getting so...
It was just stressing me out, all the negativity, and I really tried hard. I made it my mission, especially for my kids, to like try to stay positive and think positively. And there was just one day in particular that it just seemed like I was getting negativity from like every angle, and it was just really taking a toll on my mental state. And like I said, he was about to... Oh, sorry.
That wasn't me.
So my blind cat tried to climb up the chair, and it was actually my leg. Anyway, so so I actually just reinstalled Facebook on my phone so that I could share this